Hello there. Right. Okay, today I'm going to show you some really silly mistakes that I've made today. I'm going to talk to you about something that I've not really talked about on video before. I'm going to talk about the super soft silicone that we do. I'll show you this product. Basically, I have been pouring babies in the super soft silicone for many years. I mean, we're talking about 7 or 8 years. I've been experimenting with slacker or deadener, as you will hear it being called. I'm just trying to find an example. Yeah, here we are. Or deadener, or I'll find the official term for it. But basically, you'll see the products being sold with the silicones. Usually they're made specifically for a silicone, and they are, so the deadener that goes with Ecoflex won't necessarily go with another brand of silicone. I've used a lot of different brands of silicone. I've done a lot of experimentation before I ended up deciding which ones I like, and I generally use Ecoflex 20 with slacker with it. But I wanted to show you, because an awful lot more people are talking about soft silicones and mallow, they're calling them marshmallow. We actually coined the frame mallow silicone many years ago, and then people started talking about marshmallow silicone. But they're not like for like. If you speak to one artist and they're talking about a super soft silicone, and you talk to another artist, they'll talk about super soft silicone, but they're not talking necessarily about the same thing. It depends on the person who pours it and what percentage of deadener or slacker they put in their silicone. Now, to dispel a myth, well, first of all, I'll talk about this baby. This baby was a mistake. I had some silicone left over from something else I was doing, and it's a different brand of silicone to the Ecoflex, and they use a different brand of deadener. So I used the correct deadener for it, and I poured it in what I thought was going to be the same softness as Ecoflex 20 in my lovely soft mallow blend. And it came out like this, and I reckon this is about the same hardness as Ecoflex 20. So Ecoflex 20 without any softener in it is like this. There are advantages of it. You can pick it up, it doesn't flop. You turn the head and it springs back. If in a way it's better for kiddies who are handling it. Please be aware that this baby has literally just come from the mould. It's not been fixed or anything, so there are bits of air bubbles in it, and I literally did it very, very quickly because I was just wanting to use up some silicone before I did the pour that I really wanted to do. So this baby, it's one from my Christopher sculpt. Basically, it my Christopher sculpt, the mould's finished now, it's retired, so I just sort of stuck it in the Christopher mould to see what it was like. So this is why I've got so many. You can see there's a seam going down it, which you get with any babies, any poured glove mould babies. So this is the equivalent to about an Ecoflex 30. The softness chart, which I will put onto the video, basically you will see that that there are different grades of silicone. There are different grades of softness. It's called a Shore hardness scale, and there's the A scale, which is quite rubbery. There is also a D scale, which is like almost plastic in rubberiness. Then there's the 00, which is the scale that most of us use. Ecoflex 20 is 0020. Ecoflex 30 is 0030, and so on. And then there's the A scale, which is the scale a lot of the silicone rubbers are on for the mould making silicons. I use Dragon Skin 10, which is A10. Now, a lot of people think A10 is going to be softer than 0020. It's not. It's on a different scale, as you can see. Don't want to go into too much detail about that. So basically, this baby, it was some old silicone that I had. I wanted to pour it soft, and I had a gauge as to how much of the deadener to put into it, but I didn't put enough in. Basically, I put what I thought was a lot in. It was basically 111. So basically, for every 100 grams of A, 100 grams of B, I put in 100 grams of the slacker, of the deadener, and it wasn't enough. And it said you could go up to 200, so you could go up to like 100, 100, 200. So I decided to do that just to get rid of this silicone, because it was if it sits around any longer, it was going to become unworkable. So I did that for my second pour, and I have just ruined one of my best moulds. So I'm just going to show you that on camera, and I'll try not to cry. So this is normal Ecoflex type thickness. You can bend it, you can squish it. It takes quite a bit of effort. When people say, "Oh, it's a super soft," it's poured in super soft Ecoflex 20. Ecoflex 20 is not super soft. It's soft. It's not super soft. So don't be fooled by that. If you see that in the instructions, it'll say what it's poured in, and it might say poured in super soft Ecoflex 20. Ecoflex 20 is not super soft. It's average. Now, super soft is this. This is my mallow silicone, mallow blend silicone. I'll show you a baby poured in that. This is my Effie baby. So Christopher and Effie. So this is not as soft as I do go sometimes. This is Effie. As you can see, she can bend herself in two. She can get little wrinkles. The wrinkles come more after you've painted it, because the skin on the outside of the silicone wrinkles up. But as you can see, that doesn't happen on a standard baby. Even though, as you can see, it's just really hard. So I actually don't like. A lot of people prefer a hard baby. I don't. I like to be able to cuddle it. I like it to be squishy. I like a nice squishy on a baby. People come over to my babies in this is a boo-boo baby as well, in case you're thinking, oh my god, that's not very good. That's one that's not gonna go out either. But people say, oh, how lovely the hands feel, and they do. They feel lovely. So this is my a super soft blend, and this is a standard blend, and that's the difference. If you get a standard blend baby and put their arm up, it springs back. I'll try it again without anything else there. It just springs back again. It's not going to stay in position. So when you're posing them, you'll have to hold them in position. With the, I mean, you can actually pick it up by its stomach. You wouldn't want to do that with a super soft baby. With a super soft baby, you can put their arm up. They're going to keep in position more or less. You can move the head. It's not got that sort of elastic spring back that you get with the harder silicones. So that's the difference basically between the standard Ecoflex 20, say, or Ecoflex 30 baby, and the super soft baby that your pourer or I have added slacker into at the percentage that your pourer has worked out works for them. However, one of the reasons I don't really talk about slacker, or haven't done up until now. But everyone seems to be asking about it, and there's all sorts of information going out on the internet about it now, so I thought it was time to start talking about it. One of the reasons I don't recommend beginners using slacker or deadener is because you can get in an absolute mess with it. Now, this is my Joseph sculpt, my Joseph mould, and I have just ruined it. I don't think I'm going to be able to pour any more Josephs out of this mould. Luckily, I've already poured about 12, I think, but any more future orders are going to have to get cancelled off because I've just completely ruined my mould. And it's such a pity because there was nothing really wrong with it. But I have just poured a silicone blend that is far too soft. Now, it was a blend that the manufacturers said you could go to. It didn't say, with slacker, it says don't go beyond a certain percentage. But this is why you don't do things in a rush like I did today and think, I'll just get rid of this silicone. It's really heartbreaking. As I say, this is my Joseph sculpt. It's a limited edition, so it was really, really stupid of me to do this. I mean, really stupid. And I can't believe I was this stupid, but I am stupid. This proves it. So I'm going to show you why you don't mess around with slacker. Now, this is completely cured. It's a very fast cure silicone, and it cures in an hour, and this is about 3 hours. I keep leaving it in the hopes that it's going to get firmer, but this is an absolute nightmare. An absolute nightmare. It's like chewing gum. Now, this is one of the reasons that my partner and I, when we first started using slacker, named this stuff mallow, because the first few babies that we poured were far too soft like this, and they're just like marshmallow. It's like if you actually get one that you want to paint, it's like painting marshmallow, and this is like pulling soft marshmallow out of a mould. So as you can see, there's no way I'm going to get this baby out of this mould in one piece. Well, not in one piece, it doesn't matter about the baby. This is the baby. But this is why you don't mess around with slacker until you're completely sure of what you're doing, and you add a little bit at a time. You add a little bit, you add 10% and you try that, and then you add 15% and you try that, and you get a feel for it, and you don't do stupid things like this. So I just wanted to show you, when it goes wrong, it goes wrong, and I'm pretty sure even if I get the body out of the mould, I'm not going to get the arms and legs out. They're going to end up leaving a sticky mess behind. I will come back onto the video when I get to the end of trying to get this damn stuff out. It's absolutely revolting. So this is why, if I ever come onto a group, if somebody's asking about slacker and they say, I'm just starting pouring, how much slacker do I add? I will come on and I will say, do not try messing around with slacker until you've experienced. I would say pour quite a few, a few dolls in the standard silicone before you even think about looking at slacker, because this is what this stuff does, or can do if you get it wrong. It's the most beautiful stuff if you get it right, but if you get it wrong, it's a nightmare. This is not the first time this has happened to me. In the early days, I used to, when I was experimenting with the amount of slacker to put in, we'd get the odd one like this. But I've always been one for experimenting, and I'm willing to take the hit for it type of thing. But as you can see, this is an absolute flipping nightmare. So I will be back after I've tried my best to get this out and had a good cry. And I'll see you in a bit. Right, okay, that was not a very nice job, but it's been a fairly successful outcome. That is, would you believe, the doll that came out of it. There's a whole bucket full of this crap down here as well. So yeah, that's what you don't want to ever have to do. Having said that, I have managed to get, I think, it all out of the mould. I've tried a few different things. Using a solvent didn't work. In fact, it made it worse because, of course, solvent melts the silicone and actually makes it more sticky and more more liquidy. So what I did, I actually cut a hole in the both feet and both arms. I managed to get this bit out. There's bits left, but I can give it a good clean. But I feel really I feel as if I've dodged a bullet here. I was stupid. I did a stupid thing, and I just wanted to show everybody what not to do and why I've always been so very, very cautious of recommending using a soft silicone, particularly for people who are just beginning. I have helped people along the way, but only under, you know, when I've been 100% sure that they can cope with it. But you know, it's up to you. It's out there now. An awful lot of people are using slacker or know about it, so I just want to show you what not to do and how it's pretty nasty stuff, you know, silicone when it goes wrong. So I will leave it here, and have a nice evening, everybody. I'll be repairing the cuts I've done in the arms, the hands and the feet. But yeah, thank goodness Joseph will live to see another day. Okay.